Jennifer, Carrie, Howie, Sarah, the dynamics have certainly changed. This is your first time in the conference room. You had 2 new additions to the Primarius team. You had Jim, who is a graphic designer, and Bethany, a professional chef. Your task was to create and sell a new salad dressing for Wishbone. You created, but you didn't sell. You sold 391 bottles at $3.99. Matchstick sold 453 at $3.49. I don't think it was price. It was 15% difference in the number of bottles, which is a tremendous difference. Jennifer, you were the project manager.
Yes, I was a project manager. Everything went according to plan. I delegated Jim with heading up the graphics on the label itself, and he did a terrific job.
True.
Because of his background. Bethany was delegated the task of creating the recipe itself for the dressing.
Now, I'm very familiar with the store since I lived in Westport and shopped at Stew Leonard since it was first built. Their rule, did you see engraved in stone as you come in the door? Did you notice the rule?
Customer is always right.
Rule number 1. Rule number 2, if the customer is wrong, refer to rule number 1. I think that is the first order of business. And obviously, in comparison with Matchstick, you just didn't make that connection with the customer. I mean, it's
Well,
that
Jim made a
connection.
connection with a customer.
Yeah, wasn't there a little incident?
No, there absolutely
Oh,
was
what
an
happened?
Les, the store manager, became extremely frustrated because a customer complained to him that she was insulted by the sales pitch happening from the male who was screaming.
Not entirely true.
Yes, it is.
Not entirely true.
So what was your pitch?
Oh, there were so many. Really, it started Asian vinaigrette. Have you tried it yet? That was it. And I would hand it to people. In the beginning, I was saying anything from it slices, it dices.
It cures bunions. You
whatever
can
it-
massage your wife with it.
Excuse me, I don't think they were asking you. They were asking me. Once I was warned by Les that I had to change my salesmanship role, I certainly did.
You know, Martha, no one's going to take a product seriously when someone is talking about that it's good for your bunions and it's good for to massage your wife.
Well, people wash their hair in beer. I mean, I thought, what the heck? I'll throw out a joke and see how people respond.
Well, obviously, it didn't work.
Correct. So when we realized it didn't work.
No, but what were you thinking when you were doing it?
You know what? I was feeling. I had no sales strategy yet.
You said you were doing it to be witty?
I was feeling out.
I think you were
level.
half right. Jennifer, what were you doing when he was talking about bunions and massaging?
Why'd you put him on the floor?
Because at that point, Martha, I needed to have an overall...
Where were you?
I was primarily behind the counter helping Bethany, preparing the salad, and we could not hand it out fast enough to customers.
Jim could have prepared the salad, and you...
Jim could have prepared the salad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been
you
best.
could have been out there selling, which would have been much more appropriate, especially since he has a history of being a little bit overly aggressive, overly enthusiastic, overly verbal, da-da-da.
Da-da-da.
Keep him in the design. Keep him doing the marketing banners.
If he works hard, then have him help Bethany.
You're a DA. You should be able to control this guy.
Ruthless.
In a courtroom, you wouldn't let
Rogue like
him
me.
just
I wanted a
blab.
smooth operation, Martha, and honestly,
Scared
I
rabbit.
did not know if this was a time bomb that was going to explode by the minute. And we were afraid, honestly, that he was going to be even more explosive if I pulled him and put him behind the counter. And
Whoa. She's such a scared, timid little rabbit. She'd rather hide behind the table
I'm
and
a
let the
scared,
lion do the
timid rabbit.
roaring than put the lion down and her go out and make the sales.
So,
'cause
Carrie,
she knows she couldn't do
is
it.
Jennifer a scared rabbit?
Yes, right now I believe she is, sir.
I am not a scared rabbit, Martha. And in fact, I made a calculated decision. Do I keep Jim out, who has now toned down his act a little bit after being reprimanded, and keep him selling? Because he
you
was
can't do it.
selling,
'Cause you
even though
can't
he
do
was
it.
being irritating and annoying, he was still selling.
Difficulty managed is an opportunity found. I would imagine, Martha, with all due respect, that you have 10,000 Jennifers. I can imagine that you have very few Jims.
There might be a good reason for that.
There may be a good reason, but
Martha, can I say something? Jim had made a comment that when Martha looks in the mirror, she sees me. And I fail to believe that when you look in the mirror, you see a raving lunatic who, when we returned to the loft,
she's a psychologist as well as a lawyer, ladies and gentlemen.
Excuse me, I am talking.
She hid behind every
I did
corner
not hide,
to
Martha.
avoid any kind of responsibility. She led by not leading.
Carrie,
Yes,
why did you
sir.
lose this task?
This is a sales task. It was about bottom line.
Whose fault was it? I mean, I hate the word fault, but whose fault was it that there was no selling plan?
No selling plan, it was Jennifer.
Bethany, was Jen a good project manager?
I mean,
not great because we didn't have a massive sales plan. And this is all in retrospect. I'm being a little bit of a Monday morning.
Sarah, was she good at delegating?
She was good at delegating, yes.
Howie, you look a lot different today that you're in the conference room after losing.
Yeah.
So what's your observation about all of this?
4 tasks. Who would you send home?
I mean, it would have to be Jim.
Jennifer?
I would absolutely send Jim home without a doubt.
Clearly, you and Jim are the only 2 of this group that I need to speak to. Carrie, Howie, Bethany, Sarah, please return to the loft. You 2, please wait in the reception.
I think we're dealing with a nut on one hand and a weak manager on the other hand.
It's easy to blame Jim.
Oh yeah, he's
aggressive, he's noisy, he's a thorn in the side.
You know, as a leader, you need to take a missile like that and deploy it in the proper manner. I think Jennifer had winners on her team, and
they lost.
And somehow they lost.
Let's get him in here.
Okay, I'll send them both in. Thanks. Jennifer, Jim, you can go in now.
At Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia, we have a lot of different kinds of people working. We have people who are entirely creative. They think creatively, they behave creatively, but they're nice. That said, you do fly off the handle, you're experimental, let's put it that way.
Fighting for my life in this game.
Okay, well, this is not a game. This is a job interview.
Correct.
Okay, remember that. This is a serious, serious thing for us, the executives of Martha Stewart Living, and it's very serious for you two. Do you think you're better overall than Jennifer?
I'm far superior to Jennifer in every way, shape, and form, other than I'm not a part of the bar.
He's a better liar. He's a better liar. I have been genuine. I have not misrepresented
Lawyers are
any
liars
facts
where I
today.
come from.
Well, there you go. I mean,
Lawyers are liars where I come from. I don't lie for a living. I make sales. I make friends.
Jim has not stepped up.
I was never given that choice.
If he's so passionate to work for Martha Stewart, why hasn't he been project manager? And why has he been in here 3 out of 5 times?
Oh my God,
I don't know the answer to that.
I make money for my family because I'm good at what I do. I'm a salesman, and I'm a creative salesman.
He's a salesman, and he's selling you a story right now, Martha.
Selling was part of this task. It was actually the one part of the task that failed. And it was kind of almost a waste to have such a good product and not be able to sell it in a very clear and thought out fashion. Jennifer, this is the first time that you've come before me, but I see that you did not manage this team of very talented people. Jim, you're spontaneous, let's put it that way, okay?
That's kind.
All right, you try. I think you're very talented, but your behavior was inappropriate for a salesman. But Jennifer, in the field, you couldn't control Jim, that's in the store, and you can't control him here. And I didn't like that you were hesitant to pull Jim off the sales floor because you were afraid of how he might react. How can you be afraid of someone that is working for you? It's kind of obvious that you can't defend yourself, and for a DA not to be able to do that is telling. So Jennifer, you're just not working for me. Goodbye. Well, it's more interesting to have a live wire around than someone who's an ineffectual manager.
Yeah, this company's not built on Jennifer's.
On passiveness. No, it's not. Dear Jennifer, thank you for being an apprentice candidate. I hope you found it an interesting diversion from your regular job. We're sorry that it didn't work out. We wish you well. Travel safely. Cordially, Martha Stewart.
Now, Law and Order.